Finally figured it out. I know what I'm calling it. And the reason I'm going to do this is because this is the way to keep myself under control. Because I can talk about this for 25 minutes. And it's not hard to talk about this for 25 minutes, but I don't want to because it's too much to consume as the viewer, you. It's too much to edit as the creator, me. So, not going to do it. So here's how I'm limiting myself. This is the Baron Respawn timer. I'm giving myself 6 minutes to talk about the power rankings, top to bottom, front to back. I've already recorded this 6 times before I came up with this idea. I recorded this post idea once, and I didn't do the math right. So it ended up being another 18-minute long video, and I was like, this doesn't add up. This isn't right. Somehow, I've tripled Baron Respawn, and I don't get it. I don't know, but something up here just didn't connect. So that's where we're at. Let me preface this with about 30 seconds of an implication on why these teams are at where they're at, starting with the current patch that we're on. 11.2 is still the same, the top lane bruisers with the Gore Drinker and the jungle playing through top and then carry 2-3 items late game. That's kind of why a lot of these teams are still where they're at. Once 11.3 comes in, flip the script, change the meta, everything is going to be different. I hope. I have high expectations for the change in 11.3 when we get there. But for now, on 11.2, assuming that's where we're at in week 2 of the spring split, that's why these teams are where they are. So without further ado, going to start out with number 1, Cloud9, top of the list. Their LCS, like I said, is in a scale for late game type of meta where games are going almost 36 minutes long. Cloud9 has the fastest average time, about 28.5 minutes. They are 8 minutes faster, mathematically speaking, than average. They have the fastest in the entire league. They look really good. They've played a lot of middle of the pack teams, so it's kind of easier to look good. Blabber's playing out of his mind through top lane. Zven and Vulcan just get ahead bot lane by themselves. Blabber transfers the lead from one side of the map to the next. Cloud9 just ends up winning every single game. Interesting weekend coming up against EG and 100 Thieves. We'll see how that shakes out. Going to number 2, Team Liquid dropped down a spot because of their shocking loss against Immortals, where top lane actually kind of got rolled. Alphari, after playing so well in the lock-in tournament, ended up losing against Revenge's Irelia. That lead kind of was able to continue to snowball from there. Senna TK in the bot lane. The fasting Senna didn't work out for Tactical Core JJ. They fell too far behind. Couldn't catch back up, but the games against Dignitas and FlyQuest were convincing enough that even though they're not undefeated, they're still going to hold on to the number 2 slot. This week going to be interesting because they're facing off against 100 Thieves. We'll see if they are able to stay undefeated. Speaking of 100 Thieves, right down here in number 3 is where they're going to fall, and because of the fact that all 4 teammates are still together from Golden Guardians last year, they still look really good. Even though they were able to go 3-0, I have them at number 3 because of the fact it took them like 50 minutes to do it twice. I have the second longest average game time in the entire league. They probably should have lost to CLG, a little bit closer than it really should have been, but regardless, still coming out undefeated. This weekend is going to be a lot harder. They have to figure out what the hell is going on with this roster because they're going to face off against Cloud9 and Team Liquid, the 2 teams above them, and if they want to move up in the ranks, they got to do well this weekend, especially if they want to be considered a series contender. Number 4, Evil Geniuses, another team still in the mix. They had a really long game against 100 Thieves, the one we all hoped for. EG starting to look like, in game number 2, the team that everybody thought EG was going to be. They looked really solid. Impact on Shen was phenomenal. Jizuke on LeBlanc popped off. It was incredible to watch. Loved to see it. Svenskeren playing really good across the board regardless of the game result. I love to see what EG's doing. I hope they continue to get better and stay in this conversation at the top of the LCS in the spring split. They have a really hard week 2 against Cloud9 team, and hopefully they should be able to move up if they do get a 3-0 weekend, but we'll see. FlyQuest opening match against TSM is why they take number 5 over TSM. It was a close back and forth match. They played a safe game. Seraphine and Rel in the bot lane plus Hecarim. Eventually had the engaged composition, scaled up well enough, would just roll over TSM and win by the end of it. The next 2 matches against TL and EG were really quick losses. Unfortunate for FlyQuest. That's why the middle of this LCS standings is just a blur. It's a disaster. Chaos. Everything's on fire. Someone's got to figure something else out. And there wasn't a lot that they could do against that Team Liquid game. Evil Genius as well with that Shen and LeBlanc gameplay. It was not a game that they were going to win. Even harder this week with 100 Thieves and C9. Should be able to get a win against CLG though. TSM, like I said with FlyQuest, dropping that game are going to drop into number 6. That's why they're swapping places. Lost is just not allowed to participate, whether it's his positioning, his macro play, but he's getting flash stunned, flash Counter-Strike stun. I mean, there's really not a lot that Lost can do about this. Questionable Corki pick in game number 2 was very interesting. Not really sure what that was all about, but let's hope that doesn't happen again. And then a really long game against CLG, where CLG also should have won that game. They had Dragon Soul, but TSM was able to claw back. Says a lot about TSM able to play from behind, to come back to beat that CLG squad. A good victory for them. And Lost did very well in that one. It's a positive sign. Immortals in number 7. Revenge, like I said, had that really good game on Aurelia. Was able to beat Alphari on the Kennen in the top lane. Led them to that victory. That's why they are in the number 7 slot. Bot lane on the other side, we've seen the first full 5 come together. Raze and Destiny played their 2 hardest matches in bot lane matchups against Ven and Vulcan. Tactical Core JJ, they won one of the games. They decisively lost to the second one. Not entirely their fault, just because Cloud9's that good. Look forward to see what Raze and Destiny can do as they continue to get better. This week against Dignitas, EG, and TSM are all matches they could win. Look to see what Immortals can do moving up in the ranks. Dignitas arguably had the hardest schedule to open the LCS as well. They had the opening match against CLG that was phenomenal. Neos had glimmers of hope where he can put a backpack on, 1v9, carry this team. He popped off on Kai'Sa, went 9-1-4 at a 5k gold lead on anyone on his team. The next 2 games, though, were horrible. They got 10 kills total against 100 Thieves and Team Liquid. It was abysmal. There was nothing that they could do. It was a nightmare scenario. So hopefully, Dignitas is able to get better, get more kills, play more consistently. They got games against Immortals, Golden Guardians, and Evil Geniuses this week. EG's probably going to be a tough loss, but there's a chance that they could 2-1 this weekend. Golden Guardians, I know, I said they were going to be good. I said they had a high ceiling. I thought they were going to be the team to beat, but for the time being, Niles has to be able to play the game. Niles put up 0.74 and a 0.75 KDA in Game 1, Game 3, respectively. It was a nightmare. Game 2, though, against Immortals was better because their bot lane, 6A, was able to do a lot of damage on the Zai, was able to scale up very well, and the Gangplank Niles top was able to get a lot of crit and do a lot of damage. They had phenomenal objective control. They had Soul, Elder, and 2 Barons, able to then go on and win the game. TSM, Dignitas, and CLG against them this weekend. Again, expect maybe a 2-1 or a 1-2. Don't think they're going to go 0-3. We'll see. Last place, we're going to have CLG, the team I said needed help. Got it in an unexpected way where Pobelter sat out. RJS came in and didn't look too bad doing it. Not really surprised to see CLG take an 0-3 game. They realistically could have gone a 1-2, potentially even a 2-1 against 100 Thieves. They had a lot of control. They had Dragon Soul against TSM. Unfortunately, threw the leads, but they had a lead to throw, and that's the difference maker. Didn't see that one coming. Still hoping Brox is going to come around. Only time's going to tell how that's going to change. They only have up to go. They got matches against Team Liquid, probably going to be an L on top of FlyQuest and Golden Guardians. Barring a 0-3 from GG, I don't think CLG is going anywhere. They'll probably stay in last. Even that was probably too long. So, thank you for watching. This has been the Baron Respawn Timer. All my socials are going to be down below. I never use Instagram, but it's there. I use Twitter all the time, and it's there. And that's realistically all about it. I have a Twitch that I don't use nearly as often as I should, but working on that as well. So follow me down below, hit the subscribe button because I'm going to be doing this every single week all the way through the year, ideally. I also have my stat sheet where I'm keeping track of everything that LOL Esports Stats does. I'm trying to put something together. I'm trying to get my friends to cooperate. It's not easy wrangling a bunch of headless chickens, but we're working on it. I'm trying to get them in. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.